I and my wife both graduated from Banaras University
Oh,
in
good,
61. After in that 51 years, I have not met one graduate from Banaras University who is unemployed and looking for a job. Banaras University created not only a degree in us, gave us empowerment, and that empowerment comes through the Madan Mohan Malaviya's philosophy. And
I'm delighted to hear that.
Not a single one I have met in 51 years who is unemployed.
That's really quite extraordinary. Quite extraordinary. Yes, the lady there.
I did not have the privilege of going to Banaras University. One of my grandparents was a registrar there.
Oh, indeed.
My parents went to Banaras in the university. My mother took the train from Ooty. Those who understand the geography of India will appreciate this. She took the train from Ooty when she was 7 months pregnant, so she could deliver me in Banaras.
Wow, good for you.
And Ooty is thousands and thousands of kilometers from Banaras. I was born in Banaras, and I think that's a privilege. Guess where I went to get married? BHU! As if I could go anywhere else. It is a place you go to BHU, and like you said, when you see the moon, the 7 square mile radius, there is nothing like that in the world. There isn't. There is nothing like that.
Maybe Nalanda 1,000 years ago may have been like this. Is in a way it was the new Nalanda.
There is nothing like that in this world. And guess where I'm going to die?
Where?
There is. We have to go back.
I know
to
where it's
our,
auspicious to die.
No. Guess where I will have to go back? And when I was a child, I had the very good fortune of being at one of your speeches. And then I met you at the Madan Mohan Malaviya inauguration, the 150th anniversary. We flew just for that.
Indeed.
And when I turned around in the crowd, and there you were, and guess what I said stupidly? I know you. That is all I could say. I really didn't know what to say. And I'm going to end my prayage with Har Har Mahadev. You could not talk about Banaras without that.
That's true.
And it is an honor and a privilege to be with you.
You know, I must say something. Her mother traveled from Ooty to Banaras so that she could be born there. My mother, in a way, went one better. She sailed from Bombay to Cannes so that she could deliver me in the Hotel Martinez in Cannes, in France. Not as auspicious as Varanasi, but nonetheless quite significant. Yes, sir, Dr. Banik.
First, let me congratulate you for your electrifying speech. You remember, in 1990 February, you gave a speech in Health and Human Services,
Yes.
where you spoke about BHU, and Dr. Louis Sullivan, secretary, and the rest of the American, they were so impressed with your speech. You still have that same stamina, enthusiasm, and elan vital. I think that India should now consider giving you Bharat Ratna instead of Padma Vibhushan. You deserve it.
Thank you.
My question to you, although I had never had the privilege of studying in Banaras Hindu University, but I have been greatly influenced by one person. Ambassador Rao mentioned his name, Padma Shri Rajan Devdas. He was there. And also you.
One of that gentleman. How old is he now?
For the last 40 years, he has been talking about BHU and the influence of Madan Mohan Malaviya. I visited twice BHU.
Good.
And I told you that in my next life, I would like to be enrolled in BHU. So hope.
I'll make a note of that.
And I want to thank you for mentioning my name number of times in your book, Beef Sojourn. It is a great honor for me to meet you again
Very good
and
to
look
see you
forward to
again,
meeting
Dr.
you
Banik.
in BHU shortly.
Good.
Thank you.
Anybody else? There's somebody right there at the back of the audience.
Mr. Ambassador and Mr. Maharaja ji,
You must never call me Maharaja. Never. I've been doing a Tony Blair not a Tony Blair, a Tony Benn for so many years, trying to shed my title. Yes.
Thank you. Raghubir Goyal, my question is that, first of all, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Great. One, can you share some of your, if we go back, India then and India today, and also what message, Mr. Ambassador, you have for the Indian American community, sir? Thank you.
Well, I have seen my adult life is more or less coterminous with free India. I was 16 when we became free, and I have really seen that whole panorama of Indian development over the last 6 decades. There have been extraordinary achievements and many failures. But I think on a balance, we have done remarkably well. We've maintained a vibrant, sometimes over-vibrant democracy. And we have moved onwards by reducing the number of people who are below the poverty line, but there's still a great deal needs to be done. India has a history going back at least 3,000 years. And therefore, in that wide span, 60 or 70 years is not really a very long time. Although for the human life it is a long time, but otherwise the history of a nation. But I am full of hope that India will finally overcome. As far as the Indian American community is concerned, I take this occasion, I've already spoken to the ambassador, to congratulate the Indian American community for their remarkable achievements. I believe now they are almost 30 lakhs, 3 million. They were 1 million when I was here 30 years ago. They've grown rapidly. And they've come to the top in every field, whether it's medicine or law or science or even now in public life, in politics. They're really making a major contribution to the country that they have adopted. And therefore we are very proud of you, and we hope that you will bring credit to the United States and to India both. And as the ambassador announced, at last, an idea that I floated first in this very building 33 years ago, in 1990, the idea of a Indian cultural center, after so many wrong starts and trials and tribulations, hopefully now we will be able to acquire a really good property, and maybe within a year, God willing, we'll be able to open the cultural center. Yes, sir.
I'm Suresh Shenoy. I used to be the president of the IIT Alumni Association here in North America.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And we welcome the addition of Banaras Hindu University to the IIT family. One question that I have in mind for you
Yes.
is the level of education in the 3rd and 4th tier colleges in India is very, very poor. Even among the IITs, we were very lucky that we had a lot of professors who came from the BHU system. But now going forward, there is a significant shortage of faculty in India. And also, there is a whole revisionist kind of attitude about looking at what is appropriate education in India. I'd love to hear your comments on how you see the future of education in India and how the shortage of faculty is being met.
You can't get 2 lectures for the price of 1.
It's just one question.
I mean, what he says is there is a lot of, but if our education system was so bad, how is it that the Indians who go abroad do so well? Anyhow, I won't go into that question at the moment.
So if I may just
Yes.
add
Yes.
a few points. Since Shambhuji mentioned Rajan Devdas,
Haan ji.
I had a conversation with him this afternoon, just before this lecture, and he mentioned a few things about Madan Mohan Malaviya ji's way of speaking Hindi. Apparently he spoke the sweetest Bhojpuri Hindi, which was very, very attractive to hear. The second point was his very generous and compassionate attitude to needy students who everybody felt after BHU was established that here was a place where you would get free education, that this was the spirit of the new India, and people would come from far afield and in search of scholarships and stipends to study at the university, and he would help everybody. And in fact, by the time he finished being Vice Chancellor, the BHU had a debt, outstanding debt of then a princely sum of 7 lakh rupees, which apparently when Dr. Radhakrishnan was Vice Chancellor, he paid back because he never took a salary, he just took a 1 rupee a month salary, and all that went into to pay the debt, and all his lecture fees and his professorship fees from Oxford he would pay to the BHU. The third point he mentioned was in 1942, during the Quit India movement, when Gandhiji was fasting, a group of BHU students also went on fast. And Malaviya ji went to them and said this, and it's very interesting, I think it's a point to ponder over. He said, Gandhiji has the spiritual sanction to fast. You don't have the spiritual sanction to fast, so have this glass of orange juice and get back to your studies. So, these were the three I thought I'd mention these anecdotes. And finally, sir, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the national motto, Satyameva Jayate, also owes its inclusion into our, mainstream to Madan Mohan Malaviya.
Because it's from the Mundaka Upanishad.
That's right. That's right.
Satyameva Jayate Nandritam Satyena Pantha Vitato Devayana
That's right.
Yena Kramanta Rishyo Hyapta Kama Yatta Tat Satyasya Paramam Nidhanam.
Yes.
So maybe Malaviya, I didn't know that, but
Yes,
maybe
this is
he
something
was
I read,
responsible.
it was-
We'll have to look that
Yes,
up. It's
sir.
quite possible.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. He shed a lot of light
Thank you.
on, and the Dr. Radhakrishnan's gesture in giving up his salary and his fees and paying back the debt is something that also I think needs to be honored and remembered.
Good
Yes.
evening, Dr. Singh.
Sorry, there was somebody. No, there was the one gentleman behind
excuse me.
behind Dr. Banik, who's been trying for a long time.
My tooth is hurting, so I'll talk slowly. I have visited BHU half a dozen times, including delivering the convocation address at the Agricultural Institute. The university at that time was rated among the 10. Last time I went there to give a smaller talk, it was rated number 1 2-3 years ago on the basis of 5-6 criteria of
Parameters, yes.
excellence. Are we maintaining that? What
Well,
has
we
happened in the
try to
last
do
3
that.
years?
The ratings change from year to year, but BHU has been in the top 3 for the last many years. I remember when Banaras was number 1, JNU was number 2, Delhi University was number 3. I was both Chancellor of JNU also and a student of Delhi University, so I was involved with all the 3 top universities. We are trying to maintain the number 1 position, but of course, nobody can guarantee that. But we are certainly trying to do that. Yes. Yes, and then the lady last.
First of all, we heartily welcome you into Washington after 20 years. It's delightful to see you in the same spirit which we had seen you 20 years back. And I'm very happy that you have been continuing India's image all over the world. Now, one question is there for you. We talked about Banaras University, that's education. In America nowadays, people talk about business, commerce, infrastructure, all between US and America, which is going up and upward. But I think education area is a field in which the bilateral cooperation is going so rapidly. The other day, our ambassador Nirupamaji gave a good talk in Utah, telling about what are the possibilities of cooperation on education. Community colleges, our Indian students contributing a great deal into America. They give our $3 billion education. So chances for the bilateral relations are so much. Can you throw some light on that subject?
Well, of course, the ambassador would know about that. I don't know the details. But obviously, the idea of strengthening our educational and intellectual ties and improving the flow of students both ways It's not only Indian students coming to America, but American students should start going to India. Because a lot they can learn from there. It has to be a bilateral. Ambassador, would you like to say something on that?
Actually, sir, it ties in very well to the theme of our talk today, because as I was reading about Malaviya ji and his emphasis on education and openness of the spread of knowledge and technological education apart from study of Indian culture, I felt this was so germane to the whole topic of cooperation between India and the United States in education. And today, sir, you'll be happy to know that we have a higher education partnership with the United States and a higher education dialogue, which is focusing a lot on skill development for our young population, because the United States has the community college network spread all across this nation, and they are very well integrated with the manufacturing
that's what we need in India
facilities and the
very badly.
industrial setup in each locality. So learning from that, of course, we have our polytechnics and ITIs and vocational
Not enough
training,
of them yet.
but certainly we need to do a little bit of reinventing in this regard.
right.
So that's where the United States and India are working, as also in faculty development, sir. A lot of faculty, junior faculty from India coming here for further training and capacity building. And I agree with you that we need more young American students to come to India. At the moment, it's a couple of thousands who come. But there is a Connect to India and a Passport to India program underway in order to encourage more young Americans to come to India.
Last question.
Good
this
evening.
lady here.
Can-
Hey, Inko Diji, hello. Inko Diji in front.
That's okay. If there's anyone, it's fine.
7:45.
I don't know how to express my sentiments to have meet you again here in the Embassy of India. As a very young student, I met you first time when you were as Ambassador of India at your residence, and had the privilege of having the finest tea. I'm a lover of tea with you, and I think Lalit Man Singh was DCM or something
DCM.
like yes, Deputy Chief of Mission. And I was not only nervous but overwhelmed, because you told the taste of tea, quote, improves if it is served in a very fine china, accompanied by some like little snacks or something like that. So I still remember that, and happens to be my father was also from, he's Indian, but studied in England, and he was lover of tea. What I'm brought here today, the sentiments, again, thank you so much for visiting us after such a long time. And what I have heard about Banaras, I am born in Lucknow, but it appears to me like I am so much associated with Banaras because one of the person who has been talked by Ambassador Rao and our Dada, we call Sambhu Banik, he's very close to my heart. I go to his house all the time. In fact, on his birthday, I was with him. And hours he talks about Banaras and shows me the pictures. So to me appears like that I am associated with Banaras. So with this, I feel that
Malvi was born in Lucknow, actually.
yes,
He was
that's
a
right.
Lucknowi. He
And
moved
not
to
only
Banaras.
that, I think I have to go very soon to visit Banaras, what you have said, and Banaras Hindu University. I change right away the subject for what I am here today, of course, to see you. And as the international coordinator of GOPIO, Global Organization of People of Indian Origin, I know and I have been asked to do this duty, which I am doing now, and that is, we thank you from bottom of our heart what we are celebrating in 2013 as the Gadar Centennial celebration of, in the United States and global. This is your initiation in 2012, so the people who went from here of GOPIO, they could meet Prime Minister of India, and you were the catalyst as well as you were the initiator to celebrate this function. And with your help, we accomplished that. Prime Minister in the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas declared the 2013 year as the celebratory event for the Gadar centenary, 1913 to 2013. We, from bottom of our heart, from Global Organization of People of Indian Origin, and also from all the Indian American community organizations of metropolitan Washington, D.C. area. I, Renuka Misra, National Coordinator, thank you from bottom of our heart. We have just celebrated, and you came all the way from India to be a part of Los Angeles function, very first function of Gadar Centennial celebration of LA chapter. We thank you. And I got the report this afternoon. Ashok called me and he said, convey our messages. You were outstanding. And you will get a DVD or CD, whatever it is. So I took this
All right, thank you.
opportunity to convey the message to you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so very much from bottom of our heart.
Good evening, Dr. Singh. I have one very quick question. How old is actually Sanskrit language, and how old is the written manuscript in Sanskrit that is existing today that can be verified?
You see, Sanskrit is at least a minimum of 3,000 to 4,000 years old, because the Vedas, that is where Sanskrit first we come across Sanskrit. And that must have developed for at least 1,000 years before to reach that level of perfection. So Sanskrit is very old. But as far as the written Sanskrit is concerned, that is much later. And actually, it was Professor Max Muller who reduced the Vedas to writing in Oxford, if you please, in the 19th century. But Sanskrit itself has come down to us in a great mnemonic miracle for thousands of years. This gentleman is very upset he hasn't been given the thing.
My name is Karan Singh. I am the chair of India Cultural Coordination Committee. So on behalf of India Cultural Coordination Committee, I'd like to thank you and congratulate for being here. And basically, I'd like to salute you for the service and sacrifice you have done to the nation. So you're one of the great goes in the history. Thank you very much. Also, I'd like to request you, see if you can build another BHU for, well, you know, we have to try, because if we have done before, certainly we can do one more time. So please do that. I had also opportunity to meet you at Mumbai last year at the 100-year celebration of Bharat Petroleum, and I was there with you, and you were
maybe the Indian Americans can build a BHU in America.
Yes, of course. So I think this is my dream too. We should have another one, BHU, like better BHU, and I hope you can start, and we are with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The Honorable Dr. Karan Singh has been very generous with his time.
Just 1 minute.
And he's generous enough to accommodate one more remark.
Indeed, a very big-hearted, generous man. And I just want to express how gratifying it is to see that whether it's villagers of Haryana or elite of Delhi or Washington, D.C., they all equally get mesmerized by your speech, sir. I've seen it all. Every time I listen to you, my appetite really grows even more to listen to you. It's amazing. And in the end, I just want to say that the kind of love you get from people, I've seen from the villages, from people of your own home, Jammu to Washington now, this really makes us very emotional. That I hope, I really pray, and I'm sure everyone present here will join, that may you live very, very long, healthy life, and keep blessing us, and keep.
Thank you. Thank you.
And in the end, I just want to say that you're so right when you say you don't want to be called Maharaja. Time will come soon, and you'll see that when you'll be called Saint Dr. Karan Singh.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I would like to invite Professor Krishna Kumar of Howard University and also the Banaras Hindu University Alumni Associations of the United States to come and propose a vote of thanks. After which, we will adjourn next door. The embassy has been generous enough to offer refreshments for all of us. So join us for that after this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it seems that I'm standing between you and your refreshments, so I'll be very quick. And all I can say is, what an evening. You know, you guys may not realize this, but you've just witnessed something that you cannot have. You know, Dr. Karan Singh is an icon. You know, you really got a, privilege and honor to witness the Renaissance man. That's what we call him. So, and it's my pleasure and honor to be here, and thank you all for all your efforts. Everyone gave up something to be here. And Dr. Karan Singh, he was he was such an initiator, he actually made this thing happen. So I'd like to thank him for his kindness, and I've had occasion of listening to him in few times, and every time, like somebody said, I get so gratified, I just don't have word to express. And he speaks so fluently in all the languages. You listen to him in Hindi, listen to him Sanskrit, and his just knowledge, his efforts are amazing. So I just want to say that, and also like to say that every time I hope we have many other occasions to meet with him and listen to him. And this whole thing about BHU, I'll get a few minutes to talk about that. That's very close to my heart. But before that, I would also like to thank our Honorable Ambassador for giving up her time and providing us with this place, because we have been trying for the last 18 months to make this thing happen, and finally it did happen. It's a little bit late, but still it's the thing that we wanted to do it, and I'm very glad that we were able to do it. I would like to thank all the people who are here, especially BHU alumni who were able to make it. I know it's a weekday, it's difficult, all our people are all across the world, and then so I'm very happy to thank them. I would like to thank Mr. Sridharan, who's institutional. He joined us halfway through the thing. He took it upon him to make this happen, and he's been instrumental in doing all the things. Mr. Burwell also has been very useful, very helpful to make this happen. And I would like to say a few things about BHU. It is the place of learning. As a young person, when I went to BHU, and I also, since Dr. Karan Singh mentioned, I'm also a graduate of BTS, Besant Theosophical School. So being born in Banaras, I was very privileged to go to both institutions. And going to BHU, we just feel that, that kind of experience nobody can give you. And somebody mentioned, why BHU people are so successful. And I can tell you in every field, even in America, you go to IT, you go to pharmaceutical world, you see all the vice presidents, presidents of various pharmaceutical companies, they're all from BHU. They come. So we are so proud to have them here. In IT, I was very proud to see that Mr. Chinoy is here, although I have never met him, but I would like to meet him. And, so these kind of things. And BHU was IT BHU, or at that time it was called Engineering College BHU, was there long before any of the IITs. And many of the IITs, the professors and people who went, they're all from BHU. So I'll really invite you all to spend some time, if you have the time, to go to India and spend some time. It's a beautiful campus. I've been to many campuses all over the world, but there is none that can match that. And so to say that, like everybody said, Madan Mohan Malaviya started this as a beggar with 1 rupee donation. And so with that, he was able to create something. And his vision is such, like, I go to any campus, go to Harvard University, go to any campus, and people talk about, oh, where can we find room to have 1 building? And even today, if you want to build 10, 20, 50 buildings, there is room for that. So that was his vision. And right now, and so I'm so proud and so privileged to be here standing before you. And I would really like to thank you all wholeheartedly and give yourselves a big hand, because you have all done wonderful. Thank you and welcome to you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I must thank one other person before I finish. That is Shri Pandalal Jaiswal, the founder and chairman of Malaviya Mission, New Delhi. Without his efforts, and he's almost 90 years old, so without his help and imagination and hard work, none of this would have happened. And unfortunately, due to unavoidable circumstances, he could not make it. And I really want to thank him. And when Dr. Karan Singh, when you talk to him, see him, please thank him. We are so grateful.